Tonight in COVID Conversations, a big step back for California. 40 counties were put under tighter restrictions because of a surge in coronavirus cases right now. In order to limit transmissions, Governor Newsom is also considering imposing a curfew statewide. Also, state health officials are urging people to stay at home and not to travel for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. Joining us now to talk more about all these issues is Dr. Runjhun Misra, an internal medicine specialist here in the Bay Area. Dr. Misra, it's always good to have you here. Let's start with the numbers from California that are concerning here. The number of cases has doubled in the last 10 days, the largest increase since March, and also the test positivity rate has now ticked up to 4.6% in this state. What do you think it is that the governor and state health officials saw in these numbers that prompted them to dial back on the reopenings?
Alex, I think what we're seeing is a surge across the nation, and California has been very good. We were the first to go under a lockdown in March, and we really need to make sure that we're doing everything to protect our people. So I think what we're seeing in these numbers is a very rapid increase, and we don't want California to surge where we max out the health system and then we're left with no beds to treat the people who really need to be helped. So we're trying to stop that from happening.
And do you think that putting these restrictions back in place here in terms of indoor operations at places like restaurants and bars and gyms is going to do what we need it to do to curb this rise in cases?
I think so, Alex. We know how coronavirus is spread. Coronavirus needs people to spread. And if we can minimize people from mingling, if we can minimize people from socializing, that's one way to stop the virus. Now, I know all of us don't really want those rules to be there, but if that's the only way we're going to stop people from hanging out together, then that's what we need to do.
Dr. Misra, you heard the governor today sort of hinting at the notion of a possible statewide curfew. He said this is sort of being considered right now. This is sort of one tool that they might use here. It sounds like would be targeted for certain industries and businesses potentially. What do you think this would look like here if a curfew was put in place? And do you think this is a good idea?
Well, that's a very good question, Alex. I'm curious to find out exactly what he means by that curfew also. I know a lot of other states have a curfew, say, for example, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. You can't be out, on the roads, and you can't be outside unless you're going to the hospital or you're going to a grocery store, or if you're going to work and you're an essential worker. Once again, the reason for a curfew for California, for any state, is to minimize any potential social gatherings, social interaction, and socialization that happen, during those hours, whatever hours they may be, so that we can help decrease the risk of coronavirus transmission.
All right, let's shift gears, well, sort of slightly here and talk about some of the best ways that all of us can navigate the upcoming holiday season. Of course, Thanksgiving coming up next week. There's a lot of concern, I know, among health officials, among medical professionals like you about what might be coming here as we move into the holidays. We know the warnings are out there urging people not to travel for Thanksgiving, or if they do, to try to quarantine if they can for a couple of weeks, and also to avoid these large Thanksgiving gatherings with extended family and folks outside your household here. What do you believe are the keys to celebrating Thanksgiving safely?
So I think, Alex, you're right. We're in this holiday season. Everyone wants to meet family members, to meet friends, to gather around, but we have to make sure that we keep safety first, not only for ourselves, but for people that we're engaging in, because we do care about those people if we are hanging out with them. What I would suggest is to have a Thanksgiving meal with your immediate household. We don't need to have those big parties, because every time we're at a gathering, especially indoors, when our masks are off and we're eating, that's potential for spread. So have the gathering at home, have a Zoom Thanksgiving dinner with all the people that you find yourself, missing and close to. And if you absolutely need to have a gathering, then have it outside where you can socially distance, wear a mask, and keep all, the hygiene practices in place.
All right. Yep. It is a time to be extra careful and to do what you can to celebrate safely and limit the size of those gatherings for the holidays. All right. Dr. Runjhun Misra, internal medicine specialist, really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Alex.